So if you're a developer using AI in your workflow, chances are you're working way too hard for what you're getting back. Today, we're going to talk about a totally different way to think about AI, not as some simple tool, but as a real, genuine partner in your work. All right, let's get into it.
And this quote, this is it. This is the heart of the whole problem. So many of us, when we hit a tricky task, our first instinct is to just tell the AI to write the code. But as we're about to see, that's exactly where it all starts to go sideways. It's kind of like the original sin of AI development.
All right, so let's really diagnose this. In this first part, we're going to look at what's called the AI copilot mode, this way of working that feels productive but is usually just this frustrating cycle that holds both you and the AI back. Sound familiar?
I bet it does. You have this clear idea, you give the AI a direct command to just do the thing. And what you get back is, it's close, but it's not quite right, it's got bugs, or it completely misses the point. So you have to jump in, fix it all by hand, and you're left feeling like you just wasted your time. This whole cycle is super common, and it all boils down to a few bad habits.
And here they are. See, these habits create that frustrating loop we were just talking about. When a problem gets tough, our gut instinct is to just reach for code. We end up treating the AI like a fancy autocomplete, asking it to solve these really complex problems with just one single prompt. All our energy gets focused on the implementation, not the strategy. And the result? We're stuck constantly fixing the AI's mistakes instead of, preventing them in the first place.
So here's the crucial idea. The source material we're looking at says we need to completely flip our default mode. The AI copilot, where you're the pilot and the AI is just kind of a helper, that should be rare. You save that for super specific surgical tasks. The human copilot mode, where the AI is helping you navigate the bigger picture, that should be your new standard, your default setting.
And this really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. The biggest leap you can make in AI-assisted development isn't about getting a better model or writing slightly better prompt. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. Instead of a tool, you need to start thinking of the AI as a reasoning partner. A what? Yeah, a reasoning partner. It's an entity you collaborate with before you even think about writing a line of code. You use it to brainstorm, to find the holes in your own logic, and to explore paths you hadn't even thought of. It becomes your strategic ally. Let me show you a really concrete example. On the left, you've got the old way. It's a command, a one-way street where you tell the AI exactly what to do. But look at the right. That's the new way. It's not a command, it's a question. It's a conversation starter. It doesn't assume it knows the solution, it just opens up a dialogue. This little change, it has huge implications. So why is that little tweak so powerful? Well, because when you give a direct command, you're basically injecting all of your own biases and your own assumptions right into the process. You might be forcing a solution that's fine, but not great. An exploratory prompt, on the other hand, invites the AI to use its massive knowledge of architectural patterns to maybe suggest something that's way cleaner, more scalable, or just flat out better. And this code just nails it, doesn't it? This is the new relationship. You're not a manager giving out boring tasks to an intern. You're a peer, collaborating with a seasoned expert. You bring the specific knowledge about your project, your code base. The AI brings this huge, broad knowledge of patterns and an uncanny ability to spot weird issues. You use it to review your own designs. Okay, so the mindset is clear, but talk is cheap, right? How do we actually do this? In this next section, we're going to lay out a practical, step-by-step playbook that brings this whole partnership idea to life. Here it is. This is the new workflow. And just look at it. The big shocker here? Implementation is step 4, not step 1. We start to making sure the AI has all the context. Then, we work together on a high-level plan. Then we break that plan down into tiny, manageable pieces. And only then do we actually execute, and we review every single change like it's a pull request from a trusted colleague. And that second step, plan, that's where the real magic happens. Get this. Here's a crazy stat from the source material. When you collaborate with the AI on a strategic plan first, it finds critical implementation details you would have totally missed about 99% of the time. 99%. But you have to give it that high-level context to set it up for success.
Okay, so let's get even more practical. If this is a conversation, how do we get good at, talking to our new partner? This next part covers the principles for communicating really effectively.
These are your new rules of engagement. First, use the AI for reasoning, not just for spitting out code. Ask it about trade-offs and big-picture ideas. And don't be afraid to challenge it. Ask it to critique its own suggestions. Ask it to find the flaws in its own logic. Always make it explore multiple options before you commit to one. And ultimately, use this whole process to expose your own blind spots. In fact, if you forget everything else today, just remember this one question. What am I not thinking about here? This prompt is basically your superpower. It's a direct invitation for the AI to do what it's best at, finding all those weird edge cases, failure modes, and security holes that we, as humans, just naturally overlook. So, as we start to wrap this up, what's the real payoff for all this, for adopting this new mindset? Well, it's probably not what you think. It's not just about coding faster. The real leverage, the big prize here, is that it frees up your brain. It lets you delegate all the tedious, nitty-gritty implementation details so you can elevate your own work. You get to spend more of your time and your energy on the hard, interesting problems, the architecture and the high-level design. And this chart just says it all, right? Look at the before picture. Most of your time is spent down in the weeds just writing code. Now look at the after picture with this new partnership model. The whole thing flips. You spend most of your time being a designer, an architect, and you end up producing much, much better work.
And that leaves us with this final thought, and it's a big one. The difference between getting just average results and getting real, game-changing leverage, it isn't about the AI model you're using, it's about how you use it. So the question to ask yourself is, are you just using a tool or are you building a partnership?